Hearn dominates his way to 17-5. Lightning strikes in the Empire Super Sprints. We take the white flag looking back at Mr. Dirt Track USA.
And Mike Warren, I have not seen him move that fast since he drank a six-pack of Corona and ate 12 bean burritos.
All right, Shane, I see how it is. You can bet payback's coming. Race Pro Weekly starts now. Hello and welcome to another edition of Race Pro Weekly. I'm your host, Mike Warren. We kick off this week's show by heading to the Brewerton Speedway, where the Empire Super Sprints were in action for the first time since the passing of fellow competitor Kevin Ward. Empire Super Sprint drivers and officials on hand to remember Kevin Ward, many of them wearing orange in his honor as Brewerton track crews let up 113 balloons into the sky to remember their fallen friend. Parker Evans would be your pole sitter in the feature event for the Empire Super Sprints. On the move early, the Dover break, car number 00 of Danny Barron as he'd slide to the outside of Paul Kinney, and then he'd get up, have a little trouble in turn number 2. Well, let's just say it was not Barron time tonight. Off of the restart, Jason Barney going to get a great jump. Larry White as well on the outside lane as White will take the number 2 spot. He'll try to go to work on Jason Barney for the number 1 spot off at turn number 4. Stuart Friesen would get a little out of shape as he'd wheelie it down the back straightaway as a left rear flat tire would be on the Doug Emery-owned machine. And Joey Tranka would get out of shape as he would flip, tangling another car as well, as that would bring the caution out onto the speedway. Off of the restart, Lightning, Larry White would move to the outside lane as he would power to the top in turn number 2 and take the race lead away from Jason Barney as cars get together in turn number 1 at the same time Barney does the wheelie. And off of the restart, Larry White would be gone as he'd pick up his first career Empire Super Sprint win. Larry White would pick up the victory. Jason Barney would finish in second, Parker Evans third, Steve Boyer fourth, and Tommy Wickham rounding out your top 5. The $17,500 to win Mr. Dirt Track USA at the Lebanon Valley Speedway would see Andy Becchetti and Colby Schroeder on the front row in this 100-lap feature event. Matt Shepard would be on the move early, just outside the top 5 as he would go to the inside of the 11A of Kyle Armstrong. Brett Hearn will be on the move in the early going as well as he go underneath the 1WGC as Stuart Friesen to crack the top 5 early in the event. Then he'd be pushing for a top 3 run as he would go underneath the 57 of Donnie Corellis and get him with ease off of turn number 2 to get to the podium for the first time. Hearn would not stop there. He'd go to the inside of Colby Schroeder for the number 2 spot as they approach lap traffic and then go to work on your race leader, Andy Becchetti, as he was side by side with him off of turn number 3 and 4, and it wouldn't be long till the Jet was at the front of the field. Trouble on the 9H of Matt Shepard had a vibration in the FX Caprera machine. He did come out and run some laps, a number of laps down. Meanwhile, off of the restart, J.R. Hefner, Donnie Corellis, and Colby Schroeder going 3 wide as 3 of the Lebanon Valley bad boys going to work in the West End. Stuart Friesen and Danny Johnson putting on a great battle for the number 5 spot as well as they made their way down the back straightaway. Caution will come out, motor trouble on the Gypsum Express, car number 91 of Billy Decker and the 98H of Jimmy Phelps as he had a lot of smoke coming from that machine. That would lead to the restart where Donnie Corellis would try to slide up in front of the 74. Hefner getting a little too high as he would get into the wall and lose a number of positions. He would battle back to finish 11th. Your winner, however, no shocker the way he's been running lately, as Brett Hearn takes Mr. Dirt Track USA. Hearn grabs the $17,500 prize. Andy Becchetti would finish in second. Donnie Corellis third. Stuart Friesen, the highest out of the Invaders, finishing fourth. And Robbie Pitcher finishing fifth. Sportsman event that was also on the card was rained out before the halfway point, and that will pick up on August 30th. Rains early in the night forced a cancellation of much of the Night of Features program at the Fonda Speedway, which means the champions have been crowned for 2014. Congratulations to Stuart Friesen, Rocky Warner, Nick Stone, Dave Warning Sr., and Kenny Hollenbeck.
Not just Dirt Week, the Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week. Racing's biggest party is coming, October 8th through 12th at the New York State Fairgrounds. Friday night, racing under the lights. Saturday, the Silver Crown Series takes on the Moody Mile. Sunday's 200-lap Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. 5 days, over 100 race cars, thousands of laps. Get your tickets and event information now at SuperDirtWeekOnline.com. This is one party you won't want to miss. Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week, October 8th through 12th. There's only one Super Dirt Week.
Over the past couple weeks at Albany-Saratoga, it seemed as though Brett Hearn has returned to form on the Malta Oval. Would it be time for someone to step up and take another one away from him? Brian Whittemore and Brian Gleason would sit on the front row for the modified feature at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway this past Friday night, as it would be Chris Busta making a move on the outside in the early going, go around the 14G machine looking for the race lead. He would take that away from him, and now Keith Flack will be on the move on the outside as well, as along with the 20 and the 115 of Hearn and Tremont. In the early going of this one, Mark Keselowski would make a bid to the inside of Busta for the race lead, as Busta would cut his line off, staying on the inside lane, as now they would hit heavy lap traffic as they went a long time without a caution. Tremont would take the advantage on Keselowski as Keselowski got up into the loose stuff a little bit. That would move Tremont into the number 2 spot and trying to lurk behind the 41 of Busta. Keith Flack and Mark Keselowski side by side for spot number 3, and here comes Brett Hearn, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting in the top 5 already as the caution comes out, Ryan Darcy, Kyle Armstrong, Dylan Scribner, Justin Barber, Johnny Lutz, and Al McCoy involved. Off of the restart, Mark Johnson, Peter Britton, and Ronnie Johnson also lurking behind your top 5, and it wouldn't be long till Kenny Tremont got the move on the inside. He would nose ahead of Chris Busta and take the number 1 spot away. Wouldn't be long till Brett Hearn got up there into the number 2 spot, as Tremont would slide up in front of Hearn to keep the position. And now Hearn would try to come back on the inside lane and try to pull even with the S&S Asphalt Paving car number 115. Off the final turn, coming to the flag, it would be Tremont by just enough as he picks up win number 3. Kenny Tremont grabs the victory, Brett Hearn finishing in 2nd, Mark Keselowski 3rd, Mark Johnson 4th, and Peter Britton finishing 5th. Matt Papello and Mike King would lead the Fields of the Green in the main event on Saturday night at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Cars getting into it early. Colby Schroeder trying to make his way up in the outside lane, and also the 16 of Kyle Hoffman and Kenny Tremont lurking as well. Donnie Carell is going to move to the inside lane as he looked to pass a bunch of cars here in the early going of this one. Kenny Tremont will be on the move as well, and Kyle Armstrong would get loose and hit the wall up in turn number 3 and 4, and that would bring out the caution. Off of the restart, Brett Hearn going to try to go to the inside of J.R. Hefner for position as they are locked in a tight points battle, and then Hearn going to create almost a 3rd lane on the inside down the front straightaway as he would be up into the top 3 early in this one as he would go to the inside of Colby Schroeder to take the spot away. He would then go to work on the 115 of Kenny Tremont as he would slide to the inside of him as well and move into the runner-up spot, and it wouldn't be long till he headed to the inside of Matt Papello for spot number 1 as they came off at turn number 4. Hearn would be your new race leader again. J.R. Hefner and Eddie Marshall put on a whale of a battle side by side for the number 5 spot, but this would all be behind Brett Hearn, who goes to victory lane again at the Valley. Brett Hearn moves into 2nd on the all-time wins list at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Kenny Tremont finished in the number 2 spot. Colby Schroeder 3rd, Matt Papello 4th, and J.R. Hefner 5th. Vinny Vitelli would be your pole sitter at the Brewerton Speedway alongside the 6 of Pat O'Brien as they would get things going in the early portion of the event. Matt Shepard making a dive bomb move to the inside. He'd pick up a couple of positions here in the early going. Shepard and Larry White up to the top side. As they come around, looks like they make a little bit of contact, hop in the cushion, and that would send Larry White over with a flip. So he would be stopped up in turn number 4. Tim Sears and Pat O'Brien would make contact coming down the front straightaway as that would sideline O'Brien for the rest of the night. Then you'd see Pat Ward go to the inside of Ryan Bartlett for position as he'd slide through turn number 3 and 4. He would take that spot away. Larry White back up on the move with minimal damage to the inside of Ryan Phelps for position as he tried to make his way back up. Decker would hop the cushion a little bit. That would allow Pat Ward to try to come back on the inside lane, but the Franklin Flyers just too strong in this one as he would pick up the victory at the D-shaped Dirt Demon. Billy Decker grabs the win. Pat Ward would finish in second. Ryan Bartlett third. Fourth, Tom Sears Jr. and Dan Vowder would round out your top 5. Other winners on the night, Sterling Miller in the Mod Light Open, Zach Babcock in the Mod Light Stock Spec, and the 4-cylinder winner was Brian Evenden.
There's only one place in the Capital Region for you to get the full racing action. Stop down at the Bobco video booth at the track or call 518-399-0937. Bobco Racing Video, the next best thing to being there. Performance. Quality. Service. That's DMC Racing Products. Hundreds of name brand parts. Competitive prices. That's DMC. DMC Racing Products. Race to win.
Shock and Chad Miller would be your pole sitters for the Sportsman Feature, which would be the nightcap on the night at Albany-Saratoga. Scott Dole and Jeremy Pitts would be on the move in the early going, working the outside lane, as now Pitts and Bublak would try to crack the top 5 early in the event, and they would as they try to sandwich Chad Miller. Bublak makes contact with Miller, gets up into Jeremy Pitts, who loses a couple of spots, but he would regain momentum. Rocky Warner, a rare stop at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway, looking to make moves up to the field. Then you see some contact between Cody Blue and Jake Scarborough. That wouldn't be done as Cody Blue would have something go down on the 173 machine after contact again, and that would bring out the yellow. Off of the restart, John Miller goes around running in second, which ends a really good run for him with a shot to pick up a victory, which collects a number of cars as well, including Timothy Davis and Connor Cleveland. Rocky Warner, as mentioned before, was on the move along with Jake Scarborough and Scott Dool as they would split a couple of cars down the back straightaway. Now contact between Scarborough and McGrew, and now Scott Dool would be the biggest benefactor of this one as he would go top shelf. Meanwhile, the race for the lead would heat up as Jack Spieshak has Jeremy Pitts all over him. Pitts would switch lanes and go to the inside to try to get by Spieshak, but that time Spieshak would shut the door. But coming off of turn number 4 for the final time, they drag race to the line, and Jeremy Pitts would get him by a nose. Jeremy Pitts picks up the victory. Jack Spieshak coming home second. Robert Bublak third. Scott Dool fourth. And Jake Scarborough would finish in 5th. Other winners on the night in the Limited Sportsman. 3rd win of the season for David Amy. Back-to-back wins in the Pro Stocks for Bernie Companion. Bill Dupree picking up a win in the Street Stocks. And your 4-cylinder winners in the Single Cam, Elmer Montville. And Steve Ryan does it again in the Dual Cam. Matt Papello and Mike King would lead the Fields of the Green in the main event on Saturday night at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Cars getting into it early. Colby Schroeder trying to make his way up in the outside lane, and also the 16 of Kyle Hoffman and Kenny Tremont lurking as well. Donnie Carell is going to move to the inside lane as he looked to pass a bunch of cars here in the early going of this one. Kenny Tremont will be on the move as well, and Kyle Armstrong would get loose and hit the wall up in turn number 3 and 4, and that would bring out the caution. Off of the restart, Brett Hearn going to try to go to the inside of J.R. Hefner for position as they are locked in a tight points battle, and then Hearn going to create almost a 3rd lane on the inside down the front straightaway as he would be up into the top 3 early in this one as he would go to the inside of Colby Schroeder to take the spot away. He would then go to work on the 115 of Kenny Tremont as he would slide to the inside of him as well and move into the runner-up spot, and it wouldn't be long till he headed to the inside of Matt Papello for spot number 1 as they came off at turn number 4. Hearn would be your new race leader again. J.R. Hefner and Eddie Marshall put on a whale of a battle side by side for the number 5 spot, but this would all be behind Brett Hearn, who goes to victory lane again at the Valley. Brett Hearn moves into 2nd on the all-time wins list at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Kenny Tremont finished in the number 2 spot. Colby Schroeder 3rd, Matt Papello 4th, and J.R. Hefner 5th. Fonda Speedway doing their tribute to fallen competitor Kevin Ward by releasing balloons into the sky. Pro Stock Feature event, 15 laps to distance on the night of Features night. This would be the first and only one they would get in, as you see Nick Stone trying to make his way up in the early going. He is your current high point man in this division as he would slide to the right side. Gus Hollner would go to the inside of Jeff McPhail, trying to make his way into the number 2 spot with Dennis Joslin just ahead of that pack, as he was out to about a 10-car length advantage here in the early going of this feature event. Pete Broderson would slide to the inside of Nick Stone, trying to take the number 3 spot away. He would get there, and now Kenny Gates and Chucky Domblewski would be on the move as Walt Brownell would go around, and he does a 360, nobody touching him through turn number 2 as they would continue off of the restart. Gus Holner would have the advantage. He tried to push to the outside of Dennis Joslin for the race lead. Here comes Broderson to the inside, however. He tried to make that move stick, but right now it would be Dennis Joslin holding on to the position, as now Broderson will move to the outside lane with Nick Stone to the inside as they would go 3 wide down the back straightaway with Broderson getting the advantage. Chucky Domblewski would make his presence known here right at the end of it as he would move into the number 2 spot. Kenny Gates trying to follow for third. Checkers will be out. Broderson would grab the victory in what would be the final regular season win of the season. Pete Broderson picks up the win. Kenny Gates would finish in second. Chucky Domblewski third. Nick Stone fourth, and cousin Luke Horning would round out the top 5. Street stock feature event, Johnny Young would grab the win. Yule Cook would finish in second. Brian Kosselman third. John Brott fourth, and Dave Horning fifth. And in the 4 cylinders, Art Clement picking up the win. Wayne Russell finishing second. Sean Morrison third. Keith Tessero Jr. fourth, and champion Kenny Hollenbeck would round out the top 5. The Choices 301 program takes a multifaceted approach aimed at educating the public about the realities and dangers of what can happen when bad decisions are made inside a motor vehicle. Don't hesitate to designate.
Brett started deep in the field tonight. Did you think you had a chance when the green flag dropped?
Yeah, I think we did. I mean, we know we do this Saturday nights, week in and week out, start 14th, 15th. Obviously, the field tonight's a little bit tougher than a regular Saturday night, but the way that we've been running the last couple months, I think it was our race to lose. But you know, when you start 10th with, you know, guys like Becchetti and Carella starting in the front, you know, you never know if you're going to be good enough or not.
Well, like I say, Mr. Dirt's real tough. It's the best of the best. There's no better. To start on the pole and finish second, I mean, you know, yeah, it's, you know, we've won it, we've lost it, and, you know, we got a pretty good record of finishing in the top 5 here. So, you know what, second's not the end of the world for us, but, you know, especially with the season we've had here, we're starting to get things up and rolling. Dan Bedell's really working hard for us. Starting to get things turned around. My team's working super hard for us, and you know, we just gotta keep plugging, and eventually it all clicks. I mean, Brett's been awesome here all year, and you know, what can I say?
No, we're happy with it. I mean, of course, we'd like to do better and win, or you know, but we had a tight race car. It wasn't 100%. I think we actually fell back to 5th or 6th or whatever, just trying to gather it up and be patient about it. So it paid off.
How rewarding is it to you and the Lebanon Valley guys to have the Super Dirt Car Series guys come in here tonight and you finish 1, 2, 3?
It feels good. I mean, because for a long time they'd come here and show us how it's done. And the last few years we've been getting better. There's usually 1 or 2 in the mix. To dominate it like that's good. And I think we're all actually in the 19-something seconds like they were. It wasn't like it was handed to us, so it feels good.
You're now tied on the all-time win list here at Lebanon Valley with Tommy Corellis. What do you think of that?
Well, you know, in a lot of ways, I still feel like an outsider here, even though I've run enough seasons I shouldn't feel like that. So, to me, you know, when I was much younger, you know, Tommy Corellis was Lebanon Valley. His name was so synonymous with this place. For me to have as many wins as him in a fairly short amount of time feels pretty damn good.
It's now time for this week's NISCA Performer of the Week. With his first win in the Empire Super Sprint Series in memory of Kevin Ward, this week's recipient is the 99L of Larry White. White is now eligible for the Performer of the Year award given out at the end of the season. That's all for this week's show. For the latest news, results, and photos, check out Race Pro Weekly online, www.raceproweekly.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So for myself, Matt Knowles, Fast Eddie, Scott Morlock, Amber Chalmers, Dave Del Sandro, and everyone that helps put Race Pro Weekly together, thank you for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next time.